the center of that line real well, and a couple of the Pioneers brought him down.
Well, Todd Colster made contact right there, met him right at the line of scrimmage and dropped him back with some help for about a half-yard loss or so. We'll call it 3rd and 3, and the ball is at the 13-yard line.
And now we got the two quarterback system. You got Malik in, Marty Malik, number 13, and the quarterback is number 12, Matt Buckholz. Malik split out to the left side. And there's a handoff to Houghton, and Houghton was hit, stopped, and twisted away, and he got maybe about 2 yards, so he's going to be a yard shy of that first down, Ray.
Well, if I see the line judge marking the ball about a foot shy of the 10-yard line, and that's about where they had to get to, so it's going to be 4th and about a foot is all. So Wyoming Park takes a timeout here to discuss what they want to do here with 4th and 1. So we'll pause for a message of importance. We're WCTC TV 23 coming to you from Wyoming Park High School.
I don't know if you'll remember me, but I'll never forget you. I'm Mr. Signorelli's daughter. I didn't think about what would happen if he went into cardiac arrest. I didn't realize that at 6 a.m. a nurse would call the shots and save his life.
If you have the smarts and the guts to study biology, chemistry, anatomy, and psychology, call 1-800-962-NURSE. If caring were enough, anyone could be a nurse.
Okay, we got 10:59 to go here in the second quarter. No score. East Grand Rapids at Wyoming Park. Remind you that next week will be the big one. Wyoming Park at Rogers, the big one for people in the Wyoming area, as we will be at the Golden Hawks field. And in 2 weeks from tonight, Kellogg'sville at Byron Center. 3 weeks from tonight, Zeeland at Rogers. And in the 18th, Calvin Christian at Godwin. And the last 2 weeks, we will probably firm those up later on in the season, depending upon the standings and what interest in ball games too. We want to stay within the Wyoming area, but we might choose one or the other.
Well, there's a quarterback sneak by Buckholz, and looks like he got it. With a lot to spare there, he went just pushed that big body of his straight up the center, and he's 6'3" and 185, and he picked up about 2.5 yards, so there was no doubt on that first down.
Well, that was probably a good timeout, Jim, as they got together out there, decided what they were going to do, made sure everybody knew their assignments, and executed it very well.
Well, now down to 10:53. It's 1st and 8 yards to go for the touchdown. They're on the 8-yard line. So there's no first down. It's a touchdown or nothing. So Buckholz takes it, gives it to McKenzie. McKenzie takes it over the 5. He's down maybe to about the 4 or 3.5 yard line. Or it's going to bring up a second down.
Second man through that time. Fake to the first man, turn, give it to the second back through. And so we got 2nd and 4 for the touchdown. 2nd and goal on the 4 for Wyoming Park.
So the Pioneers got to hold them here. Otherwise, the Vikings are going to jump out to a 6-0 lead. 2nd and 4. Buckholz hands it off to McKenzie, and he's stopped just about the line of scrimmage. He didn't get anywhere. They were waiting for him. Going to bring up a 3rd and 4. Well, they gave him a yard on it, so it's going to be 3rd and 3. So getting ready to send the next play in.
Well, that middle of that defensive line that time, not giving an inch hardly, Jim. 3 ball players there. He fell forward for about a yard, but or a foot maybe.
Well, I would think Mr. Houghton would be getting the call. He seems to hasn't had any problem going whatever tackle, whatever side. He's been very getting a lot of yardage. This time Buckholz keeps it, goes into the end zone on a keeper play, touchdown. So the Vikings jump out to a quick 6-0 lead here with 9:13 to go in the second quarter, and they're getting set to go for their extra point. Now, Ray, it'll be interesting if they're going to kick it or go for 2, and they're going to go for the kick with Potter, number 88, doing the kicking.
Well, Jason's big man, and he's done a lot of kicking, and he's been very reliable. So
they're all set. Buckholz is the holder. There's the snap. It's down. It's booted. It's up. And it is good.
But Jim, that was a high snap, but he got it off, and so with 9:13 to go, Wyoming Park draws first blood as they lead 7-0 over East Grand Rapids. We'll be back after this message for WCTC TV 23 in Wyoming. Jim, there was a flag on the play, a personal foul against East Grand Rapids. The extra point, of course, is good. And I think what they'll do now is they'll step off the penalty on the kickoff.
I thought it was just like in the NFL. They probably said there was too much of a celebration. Now they changed it, but they still keeping the fine, so they're hard up to build a treasury up. Well, they're going to penalize them, Ray. Here, the 15 yards. So instead of kicking off from the 40, the Vikings will be able to kick off from the 45-yard line in East Grand Rapids territory. So they ought to get excellent field position here. And Potter's going to do the kicking.
He'll probably put it in the end zone so they can't even run it back.
And there's the boot, and it's going to be picked off at the 5, up to the 10, to the 15, to the 20, to the 25, and finally brought down right at the 25-yard line.
Hillary Larkin with the run back from the 5 to the 25, nice 20-yard run back. So now East Grand Rapids will take over on their own 25, ball just over the 25. They have 1st and 10, and they trail 7-0 to the Wyoming Park Vikings.
So now the East Grand Rapids team's up there, number 12, David Cox, the quarterback, again out of the T formation. And there's a slant, and good for about 3 yards. Number 44, the ball carrier, Brian Boschler.
In on the tackles, Brett Bowman, number 77. Brett, big man there in that line, tough guy to move.
So now another running back comes in and one goes out. So you know that your chances are 50% of a new man getting the ball every time. This time they're out of the tee and they got 2 men in the backfield, a man split. There is a handoff to number 23 who's hit once, hit twice, and brought down. So number 23, Randy Braun.
Jim, right at the time, number 23, and that's Brent Sawyer, got the football. Contact was made by Jason Potter in the backfield and knocked him a little bit off balance there. And he got away to the left side, but then good pursuit by the other Wyoming Park Vikings held him there. So it's 3rd and 7.
And Sawyer's a senior for the Pioneers. Now out of the I formation. Cox takes it, and there's a whistle or a flag as play stopped. So it looks like a motion penalty. Offsides, it's against the Vikings. So a 5-yard penalty against the Vikings brings up a 3rd and 2 now.
Well, that's a big penalty for East Grand Rapids because Wyoming Park had been holding real well.
Now the Pioneers out of the T formation. And there's a man in motion, the right tackle, number 72 for the Pioneers, was off and running, Brandon Shad, and so they're going to get the 5 yards right back. He just was off the ball on a different count.
And Brett Bowman, wide awake, made contact immediately, so that he no doubt about whether or not there was contact, but even then, if he moved, that's the illegal procedure.
Now the I formation. Back goes Cox. He's looking. He's being chased over here. And he's brought down right at the 20. He was going to try to reverse his field. And the young man from Wyoming Park just kept all over him. Number 20 and number 51.
51 is Tom Bush, and number 20 is Aaron Jarrett. And Bush putting good pressure on, and quarterback slipped and fouled because of the pressure, and he made sure he stayed down. So it's 4th and long.
And now the
17.
kicker, Travis Booth for East, number 70, takes it, and he boots it end over end, and it is picked off by McKenzie right here at the 50, 45, cuts outside to the 40, to the 35, to the 30, and brought down out of bounds right about the 30-yard line, where it's going to be 1st and 10 for the Pioneers.
Well, JJ made a good move back at the midfield right at the 50-yard line, Jim, when he sidestepped that one tackler that had a shot at him. It was penetrating and coming down the field. He sidestepped him and took the ball on down to the, as you say, about the 33-yard line. So he picked up another 17 yards after he sidestepped number 23, which was Brent Sawyer. So Wyoming Park with a very, very good field position. 1st and 10 at the 33-yard line of East Grand Rapids, and they lead 7-0.
They certainly are in great position here, and there's a handoff straight up the center to McKenzie, and he gets about 1 yard before he's brought down. McKenzie wasn't listed on the program, but an excellent running back, and having a great ball game here so far this evening.
2nd and 9, very little gain on that play.
And there goes the second quarterback in, who plays the split end, Marty Malik, number 13. Number 13 and number 41 are the two ball players that keep bringing the plays in, Swanson and Malik. So they change positions every play, bringing in the play from Coach Verdine. And there's the handoff to number 24. And again, looks like about 1 yard before he's brought down.
JJ was met right at the line of scrimmage, fell forward for the 1 yard. Good penetration there by East Grand Rapids, good pursuit. So it's 3rd and long now, about 3rd and 8, but I got to believe that Wyoming Park's in 4-down territory here, Jim.
Well, you would think so, Ray. 3rd and 8, of course, you know, they...
But we're trying to coach now, so we'll see. They're 4 for 4 on 3rd down, 5 for 5 on 3rd down conversions. We'll see what they do here.
With this lead, though, they may opt to kick it down and keep them deep, but back goes Buckholtz. He throws right out here to number 85, and he's knocked out of bounds at the 20, and it's going to be 1st and 10. So number 85, who is Adam Faber, junior, 6'1", 180-pound end.
Well, that's 6 for 6 on 3rd down conversions now for Wyoming Park. So doing a great job of mixing them up on 3rd down. And excellent pass play from Matt Buckholtz to, as you say, number 85, Adam Faber, on the sidelines. And he worked to get that extra yard or two, Jim, to get the 1st down, because it wasn't all that easy. He had a couple yards he had to get there to make it.
Certainly did. Split out to the right side is Malik. Buckholtz takes the ball, gives it to McKenzie. McKenzie is stopped just about the line of scrimmage as we're down to the 4:35 mark, and the clock just keeps ticking, bringing up a 2nd and 10.
Well, that big defensive line there held down by Travis Booth, doing a good job up the middle, holding it, but it's a no gain. So it's going to be 2nd and 10.
The Vikings plus the huddle. Number 85 split to the left side. Swanson to the other side, and number 12 pitches it out to McKenzie. McKenzie's going around the right side. He's got the 1st down, still going, and finally out of bounds just about the 8 or 9 yard line. Now it's down about the 5 where they finally mark it.
Well, you got to be impressed by J.J. McKenzie and the speed that he's got to get outside, but he makes some good moves too, Jim. He gives you that hip fake, and he'll look like he's going inside, and he'll skirt outside, and he's got the defensive men a little bit off balance, just enough to break the tackles, and that's an excellent run by J.J. McKenzie. And so now once again, Wyoming Park has 1st and goal to goal. They're knocking on East Grand Rapids goal line at the 5-yard line.
So now the Vikings with Malik split out to the left side. Buckholz takes it. He runs out to the right side, keeps it himself, and he's brought down for about a 3 or 4 yard loss. So that's going to bring up a second and maybe about 7.
I thought I saw a flag, but I guess not. It's a line marker out there. So, well, he tried to work his way to the outside and couldn't. Went laterally with a line of scrimmage, and the defensive pursuit caught up with him. And so now he lost 2 yards, and it's going to be 2nd and 7 now. Wyoming Park leads 7-0 and is threatening again here with 3:23 to go in the second quarter.
Mike buys over the ball, the center for the Vikings. And there, Buckholz has got it. He keeps it. He cuts back in, and he's down just about to the 1 yard line for the Pioneers. Bring him down, so it's going to bring up a 3rd and 1 yard.
As you say, he came left, had the looking for the pitch, decided to keep it, and turn upfield, got to the 1, 3rd and 1. 2 cracks at the touchdown here, Jim, or otherwise they do have that pretty good kicker in Jason Potter. So we'll see what they do. Here's another 3rd down. We'll see if they've converted on 6 of 6. We'll see if they can do it again here.
And split to the right side. Buckholz takes it, sneaks it, and it looks like he is in there. Touchdown. So the Vikings with Buckholz sneaking it in and making the 2nd score of the evening, make it a 13-0 ball game, and the Vikings are dominating this first half with 2:33 here to go, and Jason Potter, number 88, is going to attempt that extra point.
And Jim, they're eating up a lot of clock. They've had a lot of time of possession here in the first half. They kept the East Grand Rapids offense off the field.
Well, there's one where the ball was blocked, so it makes the block kick. The score's 13-0. The favor of Wyoming Park. Let's take a short break for a public service announcement. Be back with more high school football on TV 23 WCTC in Wyoming.
Did you know that kids all over the world eat fish? Fish is fun. Fish tastes great. Fish is light. Fish keeps you in shape. Fish not only tastes great, but helps keep you healthy and keeps your heart in shape.
So have some fun. Try fish.
Well, Jim, East Grand Rapids came very close to blocking the first extra point, and they did this one. So a big block. It's 13-0 Wyoming Park, but of course that always leaves the door open for a couple of scores in the second half, or here yet in the first half, and could be important.
Well, here comes Potter, and he boots it. The ball's coming up here, and it's picked off right about the 30 up to the almost the 40. And finally knocked down at the 38-yard line, where it's going to be 1st and 10 for the East Grand Rapids Pioneers.
Steve Boyer bringing that kick back, and East Grand Rapids has done a pretty good job of running kicks back. Now I see a flag on the ground now, I believe, Jim. And we got a face mask against Wyoming Park, so
that's going to move the ball the first time I think that the Pioneers have been in Wyoming Park territory tonight, Ray.
So they're going to walk off 15 yards against Wyoming Park for the face mask, and that gives East Grand Rapids field position of the 46-yard line. And 1st and 10, they trail 13-0 with 2:27 to go here in the second quarter. So the clock is not really with them right here. They've got to move the football. They got to have a 2-minute drill here, Jim.
Well, they're going to have to go and start passing the ball. And there's a handoff right up the center, good for the first down about the 34-yard line by number
Brian Bosher, number 44, the ball carrier. And well, I guess if you can eat up yards that way, you don't need to worry about putting in the air, whether there's 2 minutes to go or not. As he picked up good 12, 14 yards there off left tackle.
Well, we're down to the 2-minute area right now, just going under 2 minutes here as the clock is continuing to tick. The Pioneers in a T formation. There's a handoff to number 20,
I believe it was 33, Andy Conway. And he picks up about 5 or 6, well, let's call it 6. 2nd and 4 now.
Hey, that clock just keeps ticking. We're down to 1 minute and 30 seconds here to go in the first half, and the Pioneers trailing 13-0, need about 30 yards. Back goes Mr. Cox. He's looking. He
Got a man open.
throws. It is incomplete.
Well, number 85, Chad Britnow, was in the end zone. Had 2 men covering, but the ball was overthrown to the defensive man and went right through his hands. And so pretty good arm there, Jim, on the quarterback. He laid it right out there into the corner of the end zone. So it went incomplete. We'll take another look at it here on our replay if we can. Well, we'll pass it right now until after this play.
And now the Pioneers, 2 men in the backfield, man split out to the left side. Back goes Cox. Cox is looking. Here comes the Vikings. There's a pass just to an open area just to get rid of that ball. He's lucky he didn't get flagged for grounding.
Well, he had Chad Britnow open about 5 yards further downfield, so he probably was trying to get it to him, but with the pressure he had on him and running to the right, he just couldn't get anything on the ball, Jim. He just couldn't get any zip on it at all.
So it's going to bring up a 4th and 4 for the Pioneers with 1:15 to go here until halftime.
This is a must down for East Grand Rapids.
And they hand it off on a cross buck, and there he is stopped. Looks like number 33, if I'm right.
Well, 77, of course, is Brett Bowman. 63, Brian Bainbridge, and trying to get to 51, Tom Bush. Those 3 young men just nailed him right there and held him, and so Wyoming Park takes over the football with 1 minute and 10 to go. They're going to take it over on their own 23-yard line, and the clock is running now. It's down to 1 minute, and they lead 13-0, they being the Wyoming Park Vikings over the East Grand Rapids Pioneers.
Well, Mike Buys, the center for the Vikings, comes out of the huddle. He goes over the ball, and I'm sure with 50 seconds to go, they're just going to run this clock out, Ray, with a couple of running plays, leading 13-0, and there's a flag.
Took a delay of game, I believe. We'll see what the call is, but you can bet your dollar that you're not going to see anything fancy here. Nothing unexpected. So they took every second off the clock they could with a delay of game, and it's down to 43 seconds now.
Well, they got to run 2 more plays. Clock will not start until the snap of the ball, and then you have, what, 25 seconds in high school to get the ball back into play, so they'll have to run 2 plays. There's the handoff. Brought down after about a 2-yard gain. So if they get that ball marked in the next 10 seconds, he'll run 1 more play. They'll be very close.
Well, 26 seconds, he blew the whistle, so they've got to snap it. But all he's got to do, Jim, is and you might even want to take another delay of game here and then just snap the ball and drop on it. But all they got to do is just snap it with about 3 or 4 seconds to go and fall on it. So that's a pretty good position for Wyoming Park to be in.
Well, it certainly is. And there's the quarterback keeper. And he's dropped after about a 2-yard gain, and gun goes off. The score at halftime, the Wyoming Park Vikings 13, the East Grand Rapids Pioneers nothing. Let's take a short break for public service announcement and back with more high school football.
This message from President Bush and the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service.
America's migratory waterfowl are some of our most beloved wildlife. For more than 50 years, people like you have collected federal duck stamps, and that's helped to protect more than 4 million acres of national wildlife refuge. You can help ensure that our waterfowl will have a home. Write Duck Stamp, Washington, D.C. 20240 for a free brochure. Let's help preserve our precious wildlife.
Halftime here at Wyoming Park High School with the Vikings leading 13-0. We were going to take it down to the field for the band, but they're not quite set yet, Jim. So I'll give you a quick, brief recap of the scoring. With 9:13 to go in the second quarter, Matt Buckholtz on a keeper from 3 yards out put it across, and they were ahead 6-0. Jason Potter kicked the extra point, and at that point they led 7-0. Then late in the second quarter, Wyoming Park took over again, put on a fine drive, and with 2:33 to go, Buckholz again on a keeper went over from 2 yards out. And this time the point after kick was blocked, and so the score is 13-0. And that's the way it is here at halftime at Wyoming Park, with the East Grand Rapids Pioneers invading the Viking territory. And right now we're going to take you down on the field and show you the fine marching band from Wyoming Park High School, 118 strong, under the direction of Mr. James Ross. So, ladies and gentlemen, we're proud to present the Wyoming Park Viking Marching Band.
Percussion arrangements are by Brennan Mahalovitz. The soloists in the show are Tom Dombrowski, Doug Jensen, Josh Burton, Eric Johnson, Jim Yeomans, and Tom Oatman. Drum majors Ryan Goey and Tom Oatman. Is your 120-member band ready? You may take the field in exhibition.
Ray Bueller and Jim Cole back with you at Wyoming Park High School's stadium. Wyoming Park leading at halftime, 13-0. Jim, I know you've got some yardage stats there, but one of the impressive things is that Wyoming Park had 9 first downs, and 8 of those are 8 for 8 on third down conversions. 2 of those